What's your role with the organization, and why are you here today?
I founded Condemned USA for January 6 people because I want to fight overarching, bigger legal battles. We started off with filing and helping individual cases, and the work will teach you, as Grandma says. So the idea was that we knew that we weren't getting anywhere. It didn't take long, a year or so, and you're like, okay, so you can provide all the facts and the evidence you want. We always knew change of venue was necessary, and it always knew that it made sense. But we had to keep fighting some cases along the way. We had to keep the world turning, essentially, in the organization. But I've always been working at this. I mean, since before that, we worked on the Proud Boys case. You know, we beat the seditious conspiracy for Dominic Pizzola, as you know, many people know. But the reality is that I always knew that if we didn't get the venue changed, there was never going to be a fair trial. These people in D.C. have been engaged in such a way to believe that all these January 6th Select Committee and so many others are some kind of factual body of evidence, authoritative body providing a factual assertive evidence. And there's no such, not even close. It's an absolute fraud. And then more comes out every day that, well, basically this was a made-for-TV movie. No kidding. I told you that 2 years ago, right, when it came out. So the whole idea of, I'm so tired of, I don't have a crystal ball. I have the evidence. I've been looking through this evidence that people didn't look through. Most attorneys didn't look at the evidence. How could they? It's terabytes of information. We had a collective group of people reviewing all of this footage, and we were doing this for years. We're light years ahead. Congress will never catch up. They could open an investigation today and put 100 people on it, and there'll be 2 years catching up to us because so many, and you had to have all the little pieces that filled in. And that's why we are so far ahead of the game, so far ahead of the curve. We know who the liars are. I've been telling this. I've been calling out these people for lying to congressional testimony. That's a hell of a statement. Why haven't I been charged with something? Why hasn't anyone filed a civil case against me? Because they can't, because they'll lose, because the facts are on my side. They did lie in their congressional testimony. There's no question about it. They're a fraud on the people and a fraud on this nation. They're a disgusting, rot, putrid stench of anything antithesis of what should be in our country.
So what's the plan? At the end of your speech there, your presentation, you talked about coming together and acting legally.
Yeah.
At what point does that stop?
Never. Well, what is legal? I mean, here's the thing. The framers of the Constitution put a lot of brilliant language in there. You have a right and/or duty to cast off a government that no longer represents you. Who leads that, or who asserts such a thing is a big question, right? That's not clearly defined. I think it was left to the people to define in the event that it got so bad that they had to make those decisions. I don't think that we want to be there. I don't want to be there. I want to do this. I believe I've got all kinds of mechanisms. The problem is, if we were better funded, we would have already been there. Why is it that I have probably some of the highest, most prolific work being done in the court system, and yet I'm underfunded, and you see some of these people out here raising mass amounts of money, and nothing against them, not to disparage any group or organization, but my question is why have I done this on the shoestring, and why aren't more people behind this? Let's get creative. Let's fight in new ways. You can't fight an enemy that doesn't play by the rules in a conventional warfare situation, and I mean this in the court, right? You have to fight them unconventionally, like the theories and the work that I've done with the change of venue. And everybody should be leaning into this. People should be calling and demanding that their legislators look into this. Their attorney general should be signed on to this work, because not only is it novel, but it's 100% accurate. It's beyond reproach for fact. But what will happen? What if it goes quietly away with a dismissal in the court? What happens? Nothing happens. It will be another year before we get an appeal. It will be 2 or 3 years before we get to the Supreme Court. By then, people have lost interest, and by then it'll be way too late. So the way that these things are pressed, an attorney general can press these matters. The signing on, governors, political people out there that make up what they like to call officials, which I think they shouldn't be called officials. They should be reminded that they're representatives. You're not an official. I didn't say, oh, good, I want you to be my official. I got a job for you. I'm going to sign here and put you on this ballot to hire you as my official. I hired you as a representative, and it's a mistake in this narrative that continues. That's got to stop. These people have to be told, you work for us, and this is what we, the people, want. Get involved. Why are you not signing on?
What's if you want anybody to walk away, their takeaway from this event, what would it be?
Well, the takeaway from the event is the people that are, truly have courage in their heart and came down here for the right reasons are here. Nobody's armed. We're not here packing. We didn't need to be. We're here on private property, enjoying faith, we're enjoying fellowship, but we're also talking about some very difficult issues. We're talking about some hard-hitting facts, and we're waking some people up to some things they didn't know. And I take you to the brink of these things, like I said earlier, because I want to provoke the thought. It's a thought, right? It's called political speech. And I made a speech up there that I made people think about what those outcomes could look like if they don't do it this way. Because if I'm not the guy you're getting behind, that's great. You've got something better. You let me know what it is. You tell me what the answer is. And if I believe it's better, then I'll drag my little cannon over and fight from your hill. We'll get our legal team fighting from your hill. But until someone gives me a better answer to that, then this is where we are.